Thank you. Thank you, Wytold. Thank you all for being here today, for still believing in belonging, for being willing to give it, for being willing to receive it from people who maybe you've never met before, maybe people who don't look like anyone in your family. It's radical stuff, and I'm glad we're doing it together. Before I begin my, I promise, pretty short welcome, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Wytold, who is with us today. Wytold writes original music on the 6-string electric cello, inspired by outdoor rock climbing trips, world travel, his background studying the philosophy of physics. What a nerd. And he's brilliant. And his experiences leading music workshops in military hospitals and veteran populations. Wytold is also a founding board member of Mission Belonging. Using electronic edge alongside acoustic harmonies and double-stop grit, his electrified chamber feels equally at home in rock clubs, art galleries, and concert halls. Find Wytold online at wytoldmusic.com and join him, this is a new thing this year, on the first Monday of each month for Intro to Music, a Mission Belonging online workshop open to everyone. And you'll have chances to hear Wytold perform and work with Wytold throughout the day. So please stay tuned for that. Huge thank you to Rockwood Manor, this beautiful property that we get to be on and enjoy, and to our co-presenter, Strathmore. They have been such an excellent incredible partner to us throughout, since before we were an organization, actually. Just believing in like the power of this work, the possibilities, and in, most importantly, our endeavor to bridge the gap between the military and civilian communities. So it's a false gap, right? The US military is the most diverse organization in the world. It's more diverse than the population it serves. And this separation is really dangerous for all of us. And so we're really grateful for partners who have helped us bring our work into community. For those of you, I think most of you probably know, but for those of you who don't, Mission Belonging, we got our start in the military healthcare system at Walter Reed and Fort Belvoir community hospitals, where we learned that at the heart of community is communication. At the heart of communication is knowing what it is that you contain. And we use writing and art and a little music, though I'm not allowed to sing, to help people figure out, and ourselves figure out what it is that we contain, communicate it first to ourselves, then to the people in our circle there in the workshop space around the table with us, and then hopefully to the people in our lives, and to people who don't even know us, who might feel like what they're experiencing is so strange. The grief that they feel is so completely alien that they themselves are also unrecognizable to anyone else. When we recognize ourselves in other people, it gives us a chance. If we can bring ourselves to recognize ourselves and not turn against it, but recognize ourselves and love, we can learn to love ourselves more fully. And I do believe that people who can learn to find some compassion for themselves are less likely to enact hate upon other people. And that's the work, right? So today we'll have folks who are veterans and active duty service members, and we also have a lot of members of our civilian community. All of these programs are for everyone. If you're feeling like, oh no, I'm taking up space, nobody here is taking up space that is not theirs. You're here and you belong here. So do it all, make some noise, be messy. Show up. I always say that the best way to feel belonging is to give belonging. So if you feel like, oh, I don't know anybody here, help someone out with something. Just offer something. And if you see somebody standing by themselves and looking like, oh, I don't know anyone, saddle up on next to them. Invite them in. Let's just try to make this at least one place, one time. Let's practice living in the world we want to live in here at Rockwood Manor. I want to introduce my dear partner in silliness and also in hard work. Lauren Campbell is the director of education. Oh dear. Don't worry about it. She'll tell you who she is. Lauren Campbell is the coolest person. She is at Strathmore. We met 15 years, like right as I was starting this work, and we have been just building bigger and more interesting things together, and just trying to see how far we can stretch what art can do. Please welcome Lauren Campbell.
Funny, I have my safety laptop, you know, have you like a blanket? It's like my written remarks are here on my laptop. I'm not gonna look at them, but they're next to me. I am the VP of Education and Community Engagement in Strathmore. The title doesn't matter, but I wanted to give you some crap about that. Like Seema said, we met 15 years ago, had a meeting on the back porch of the mansion at Strathmore. Many of you were there last night for the incredible reading. And have just been working together ever since. Strathmore is in a similar business, parallel to Mission Belonging, and I was trying to think about what is the real substance of the work that both organizations do. What is the material? And it came to me last night. I felt like we were in this safe, kind of shimmering force field of safety last night. It felt like, and like now, right? It feels like there's this glowing kind of orb, like a little dome that we're protected in here, just for a time. And I think what that orb is made of is attention. Close, attuned, loving attention that we are paying to one another. And when you come to a concert at Strathmore or anywhere else, you turn away from the person next to you, but you both pay attention to the art on the stage or on the wall, right? And that material, that attention is so precious. It's part of our humanity. And I don't know if you know this, I read recently that some people, corporations, advertisers, see our attention as uncolonized land. And so when we choose, you booked your tickets, you mapped your route, you booked your Saturday, and hopefully also your Friday night, last night, to be here. And keep your eyes trained on each other and on your interiority, and then bring out your interiority and share it and offer it to others, and then have it be seen and heard with that close, loving attention. You are snatching back your energy and your life force from the maw of whatever that wants to take it from us and feed it into systems that we don't want to support. So that's what you did today, that's what we're doing today, and that's what Strathmore and Mission Belonging are trying to cultivate in the world. I've been in Mission Belonging workshops many times, and I know how absolutely consistent the quality of loving attention is, and how intentional the way Seema and her other teachers cultivate the expectation that everybody pays really loving, caring attention to each other. It's just 100% every time. And that's the fruit of that is what we're gonna experience today. Also, I want you to know that if you're doing the improv workshop, who's doing the improv workshop? Anyone? Amelia's teaching, Seema's gonna be in there. As Seema said, we're partners in silliness, okay? And the only way that you get to really good silliness and jokes is by paying attention to each other. So it's not just heavy, right? That attention becomes effervescence and laughs as well as heartfulness, all mixed together. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for being here, Seema.
Thank you, VP, you guys. Wow. I want to also point your attention to Harrison, our ASL interpreter. Harrison is a delight. Harrison will be with us all day long. If you would like Harrison's assistance in where you are, please come see him. He'll ride along with you. So otherwise, just give him love throughout the day, and he'll be here interpreting for us. Thanks, Harrison. It is my great honor to introduce Dr. Adam Saperstein, our keynote speaker this morning. Dr. Adam Saperstein is a captain in the U.S. Navy and currently serves as an associate professor and vice chair for education in the Department of Family Medicine at the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences. He is a graduate of the United States Naval Academy and Tulane Medical School. His distinguished career, and this is like abbreviated, y'all, like his distinguished career, includes assignments in Bremerton, Washington, Okinawa, Japan, Jacksonville, Florida, Camp Arifjan, Kuwait, Sicily, Italy, Iwakuni, Japan, Annapolis, Maryland, and Bethesda, Maryland. During these tours, he has held multiple leadership positions, including serving as the director of the Wounded Warrior Partnership and director of reflective practice at the Uniformed Services University. How beautiful. He also served as the Brigade Medical Officer at the Naval Academy during the COVID pandemic. In addition to military awards, his accolades include the 2016 William P. Clements Award for Excellence in Medical Education and the 2022 Admiral Charles R. Larson Ethical Leadership Excellence Award. Nationally, Dr. Saperstein is an active member of the STFM Professionalism Task Force, the Gold Humanism Honor Society Advisory Council, and leads the Medical Improvisation Collaborative Research Committee. His research and teaching focus on using medical humanities to improve patient care, professional development and remediation, and cardiovascular screening. In his free time, he has free time, y'all. During which he enjoys soccer, traveling, live theater, and reading fiction. He and his wife, Lucia, live in Washington, D.C., and have 2 children, Noah and Camille. Adam is one of the warmest, most interesting people that you will talk. If you get a chance to gab with Adam, please take it. He'll be here with us playing much of the day, so please do come see him. Today, Adam will be speaking to us directly from his heart. His views do not reflect the views of the U.S. military or the Department of the Navy. Please welcome Adam Saperstein.
On an early summer afternoon in 2009, the clinical pharmacy team paged, informing me that they were sending a patient whose blood was too thin. Wondering how many notes I would need to put off writing in order to see an additional patient and get to the wards for turnover on time, I found myself listening poorly to the person in front of me. Sadly, this had become a trend. At our hospital, frequent deployments were causing chronic staffing shortfalls, pulling me from one moment to the next, and being present was becoming progressively more difficult. 30 minutes later, I met Mr. R, an 85-year-old gentleman accompanied by his son-in-law, who had driven 2 hours to our hospital. The two broke off their conversation as we greeted one another, and I asked how I could help. "I'm not sure, Doc," Mr. R offered. "I must have done something wrong because I've never had this problem before, but the pharmacist tells me my blood's too thin, and I guess that's why I've been bruising. I just can't figure out why." We discussed the previous few weeks of his life, reviewing his medications, diet, and activity, but were unable to find the source of the issue. "Do you happen to have your meds with you?" I asked. "Yep, he's got them all right," his son-in-law said good-naturedly. "Brings them to every visit. I've told him 1,000 times you have all this in the system, but he says with all the medicines he takes, it's probably better to bring them. They're over there in the tote." Opening the bag, I saw 10 pill bottles with a single letter atop each of the caps. I saw an M, a C, a G, and an L, among others, forming an alphabet soup in a bag. "I see a bunch of letters in the caps. Is that a system for how you take your meds?" I asked. "Yeah, I've got macular degeneration. I can't see so well, and those pill bottles have everything written so darn small, I can't read them. So I put a letter on the top of each one so I know what to do. Sometimes based on the color, sometimes the name. Between that and knowing I take 10 pills a day, that's what I go by." Taking a second look at each bottle, I noticed that his G, the shorthand for green, was blurred and appeared a whole lot more like a C, his shorthand for Coumadin, his blood thinner medication. A quick pill count confirmed it. He had confused those 2 medications, assumed that he needed to take 2 C pills per day, and was doubling his blood thinner without realizing it. As I explained the next steps in his care, I returned the bottles to the tote. I noticed something glinting at the bottom of the bag. Taking a closer look, I saw that it was a weather-beaten harmonica. "Mr. R, is that your harmonica?" I asked. A grin spread across his face as his son-in-law jumped in. "Oh yeah, it's his all right. He has been playing that since the 1940s. "What's the story?" I inquired. "You want the whole story?" My response was, yeah. My face clearly showing the answer was yes. He went on, "Well, I was a belly gunner in World War II. That was some rough duty. In a metal chair underneath an aircraft encased in a small plastic bubble, seeing the explosions all around us as the enemy tried to knock us out of the sky. And a number of those anti-aircraft rounds did just that. I saw a bunch of my close friends' planes go down." He paused wistfully before picking up the thread again. "Anyway, after that first mission, when we landed, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I tried shaking them out, exercising, nothing seemed to help. A guy I knew in another unit saw me and asked what was going on. I think he knew it was stress or anxiety or whatever you doctors call it, but there was a code. We didn't talk about those things. We had a job to do." The next day, he finds me at chow and hands me a harmonica. Said he brought two, in case he lost one, and he wanted me to have it. I started learning to play that night, and wouldn't you know, as horrible as that war was, and despite what I saw, my hand stopped shaking and never started again. That harmonica you see in the bag, it's the same one. For a moment, Mr. R paused, traversing a course through the memories of his extraordinary life as tears welled up in his eyes. When he looked up 20 seconds later, there was a glint in his eye one more time, and he asked, "One here?" For the next 10 minutes, Mr. R didn't play, he wailed. I was transported back to my experiences with my friend Jess Bunin back there in the French Quarter during medical school, hearing the likes of Kebmo, Clarence Gatemouth Brown, and Taj Mahal as he belted out 3 blues songs in quick succession. I was floored, and for the first time in months, I rediscovered what it was like to be fully in the moment. After his third number, he said, "Well, Doc, I know it's added on to your schedule, so I'm guessing you need to get to the rest of your patients." I reluctantly left the room and entered the next, apologizing. "Were you next door?" she asked. I muttered, my mind trailing my body into the room. "Well, I've got some issues to address. At 79, who doesn't? But I have to say, I kind of wish you'd stayed a little longer in that room. Listening to whoever that was made me feel better than I felt in a long time." I'm not in my head, understanding exactly what she meant. That it was music that brought me back to center should not have surprised me. Growing up, my dad played the piano, guitar, and concertina. My uncle performed regularly and was a diehard member of SPEBSQUA, wait for it, the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America. Yeah, there's an acronym for that. My sister was an actor in musical theater, and I grew up playing clarinet, saxophone, singing, and performing in something called show pop, a mixture of acting, dancing, and singing with a ridiculous number of costume changes that could only have been created in the 1980s. All that to explain that growing up, breaking into 4-part harmony with instrumental accompaniment was our norm. Perhaps better stated, it was home. When I started at the Naval Academy in 1992, I quickly realized the need for community and founded in the Glee Club. We toured across the globe, including performances in Westminster Abbey and the Vatican, but the most important performance was at Mary Baldwin College in Stanton, Virginia in 1995, where I fell for a Cajun girl named Lucia, who wanted to know who would put on the Dan Fogelberg CD at a party that night. Spoiler alert, it was me, and I've been falling ever since. From the outset of our relationship, Lucia opened my eyes to many things, among them the idea that we have an ongoing capacity to create art in all its forms. This was a new idea for me, as I stopped making visual art in the 4th grade at the ripe old age of 9, when my art teacher, shared that my creations led her to think that it might be a good idea if I spent less time in her classroom. Lucia, who comes from a family of artists and is one herself, countered that narrative and inspired me to seek out new ways of creating in a way that only love can. After tours in New Orleans, Bremerton, Okinawa, Jacksonville, Kuwait, and Sicily, our family had the opportunity to come to the Uniformed Services University. My experiences meeting wounded warriors who were recovering from their injuries and reading the university's motto, "Learning to care for those in harm's way," that's emblazoned on the side of our building, led to my collaborating with others to create the Wounded Warrior Partnership, a space in which those who had been in harm's way could teach healthcare providers how to best care for those in harm's way. The partnership was built on side-by-side collaborative participation in the adaptive sports and creative arts programs at Walter Reed and Bethesda, programs that built on the work that Seema and so many others did at the old Walter Reed in DC prior to her founding Community Building Artworks, Mission Belonging. Our goal was to build community as the foundation upon which meaningful connections could be made. As a participant, I experienced an array of creative arts therapy programs firsthand: music, poetry, prose, dance and movement, and visual art, to name just a few. New ways of creating led to new ways of seeing. And through these experiences, I came to 2 realizations. 1, community matters. 2, art provides the keys to unlock doors that might otherwise remain sealed. Since then, I have sought ways to meaningfully incorporate arts and humanities into the work I do, and perhaps more importantly, the way I live. I've been fortunate to collaborate with artists, including many of you in the room today, to consider new ways of seeing, being, and healing. As an educator, I have incorporated the arts into teaching in order to improve patient care and self-care. And as a researcher, to work with friends like Seema, Ashley, the Mission Belonging team, to study the impact art can have on healing. While research about the arts and healing might seem counterintuitive to some, when done well, it offers the potential to positively impact approaches to care by using a language understood by those who have the power to affect systems-level change. As one example, a few of us in the room today, including Dr. Bunin and Ms. Rohr, where are you? Dr. Bunin, Ms. Rohr, put your hand way up, Lauren. Have partnered with Mission Belonging to evaluate the impact of their More Than One Story program, and we're pleased to share, for the first time publicly, that participation in this monthly poetry-based online community program is associated, wait for this, with a statistically significant decrease in suicide risk. I think this is where you get up and take a bow. Okay. That this outcome can be achieved through the creation of a community connected through arts is simultaneously unbelievable and eminently believable. And we look forward to more work ahead. In these challenging times, it can be difficult to find ways to express what we feel, to hope in the unseen, and to find solidarity and acceptance in a world that can be cruel. Art offers us a path if we will take it. When we are lucky, art comes to us. In my case, in the forms of an 85-year-old World War II veteran whose 3 blues tunes stirred my soul, and a life partner whose art nourishes my heart. Other times, we go to it. Today, Mission Belonging has put together a program that provides us with a series of trailheads. Whether you opt to explore a new path or rekindle your love for an old one, take heart knowing that you are among friends in this community where we belong and where we travel together. Thank you.
Steve, there you are. Adam, we have something for you. We don't do coins. Steve McCombs is a brilliant artist and a member of our community.
This is a propagation base. It was actually, most everything that I make is, I collect out of the trash cans because people discard stuff that you can make on food. So that's a propagation base. It was actually, I had talked to a friend of mine who was actually in Iceland and we were trying to figure out what side to put the holes on. So these are kind of a collaboration between an American and an Icelandic.
As you all know, it's a tough year for nonprofits who depend at all on federal funding, and we are no exception. We are really, really grateful to the ways that members of our community have continued to support us. And we want to thank 2 such members today. One is Rania Campbell Boussier. Oh yeah, she has a lot of hyphens and she changes them. She got married, I mean. Rania has been a monthly donor. I think we just moved her from PayPal because that's what we first set up. Like Michelle's nodding back there. She's been working on the finances. But Rania has been a steadfast sort of source of support for this organization from the very, very beginning. And we wanted to thank her for this like long time faith in us and resource sharing. And Steve has something for Rania as well. If you want to, Rania, you want to come up?
Again, something that's made from different pieces that were collected through a trash can, but made something beautiful out of it. Thank you for your support.
And then, I'm probably doing this in a weird way, but when the news of one of our major grants came out, that we were losing that funding, everyone did. It wasn't us particularly, that grant was canceled. One of our donors who has steadily been a regular supporter stepped up and closed the gap that grant left. I opened that, you're running an organization, people's livelihoods are sort of on your shoulders, and you're trying to figure this out. I opened that check and just was in public. Annie Friedman, you all know as a participant, please stand up, Annie, if you know she hates this, but she's a volunteer. She's a community, that we met Annie, Ashi and I were putting like paint on masks for a project, and Annie happened to be visiting actually a house guest of mine. And she was like, oh, can I help? And she came and spent her whole day just volunteering and helping us prep these materials. So she came with her hands and her talents first. Annie, thank you for all the ways you show up for me personally, for our family, and for this family that this organization is. And we have something very, very special that Steve made for you. If you could come up. Let me see that.
So I kind of got into reading a lot this year, and
Oh, can you be on the mic? Everybody wants to hear you. Come on, I'll be here.
I'm scared. She put her arm. What's going to happen? I spent a lot of time reading this year, and I kind of decided. I was talking to Ashi. I'm like, what do you want me to bring out? And so I came up with a book caddy that I put the quote at the heart of community is communication by Seema. So it's you can put your coffee cup there, your highlighter here, and you can put your book on top.
About 15 years ago, probably, I heard somebody say that the two ways you can spend your time that are unquestionably valuable are creating beauty and alleviating suffering. And every day, that's what Mission Belonging does. And I am so honored to be able to support this incredibly valuable work. Thank you.
Creating beauty and alleviating suffering. Let's all do that today. We're gonna does everybody have a notebook? You got a notebook in your bag? You got something to write on? You didn't get a swag bag? Come on, guys. It's in your swag bag. Use your phone if you want. There should be a pen in there. So instead of leading a writing workshop today, we left space. Alexis is bothering dogs back there. We left space on the schedule for all of the other new activities that you'll be experiencing, but we did want to get some of that writing in on the top. So if you don't have something to write on or something to write with, you probably have your phone. I hate that, but you could use it. Adam, I can give you something. You know what? I'm going to give you the back of your own pages. Many years ago, Wytold and I worked together at Walter Reed in Fort Belvoir and did these writing workshops where Wytold played music live, he improvised. And we found that, like, to Lauren's point, everybody was thinking of sort of similar things as a result. The music, though you may not feel like you're a musician or you understand the language of music, something inside you does. So I'll offer you an opening sort of sentence, but just pay deep attention to what comes up in your mind. That's all that it is. You write in your own voice, no one else's matters, on the page. Be specific as possible. So like if something's coming up for you, try to get a sense of the sensory quality of it. The taste, the smell, the touch, the specific color. The more specific you can be, the closer you will be to like touching the essence of what's coming up for you. This is panning your mind for gold, really. And then the third and most important thing is be willing to be curious, to wonder, to not filter yourself. All day long, you guys know this, all day long we filter ourselves, and I'm grateful to live in that world. But, but on the page, do not filter yourself. Just witness yourself with curiosity. And we're just gonna take 5 minutes here to move the pen. The notebooks were free to you, well, $5 registration fee. We have plenty more pens, so just like write it all down. And my question for you, should you choose to accept it, is what will you pay attention to? From Lauren.